Hey guys, Dan the craft beer man back at it again with a new brew review for you today. So today I have Sauvage. This is a wild ale from Steamworks Brewing Company out of Gastown in Burnaby, BC, established in 1995. This particular beer is at 8.1 ABV and the IBU is unknown. Um, Now, a wild ale is sometimes also known as a farmhouse or a bière de garde or a saison. Sometimes they're kind of lumped into the same family. Farmhouse is generally like a US or British term. Bière de garde is a French term, beer for keeping, and saison is a Belgian term, meaning beer for the season. Now, of course, beers don't necessarily stick to their country of origin or name of origin. They can really be produced anywhere. Um, a little bit about Steamworks. Okay, so they first opened in Gastown, their steam-powered brewery. They're the only one of its kind in Canada. Their beers are distinct and flavorful. For the past 20 years, beer aficionados have been migrating to their brew pub for a taster of these unconventional beers. Now, with the advent of our bottled beers, you can take the brew pub experience home with you. Their second brewery and location is in Burnaby on Williams, close to the Vancouver Burnaby border, just on boundary or just off of boundary. 2012, they started bottling. Their flagship IPA won Best in Show and Best IPA in 2016, the BC Brewing Awards. Today, the little brewery that grew sells bottles, tall cans, bombers, and kegs throughout BC, several Canadian provinces, US states, Central Europe, and Hong Kong, all the while still brewing with the power of steam. They have a fantastic summer ale. Of course, I mentioned their flagship IPA, their Black Angel IPA, their Kolsch, their Tropical Tart Ale, their Killer Cucumber Ale, their Pumpkin Ale, and their Christmas beer called Blitzen, as well as their Frambozen Raspberry Beer. Um, I've also had a very cool two saisons by them. Purgatory, which is a barrel-aged Brett saison with a Pinot Blanc Great Must, as well as Sanctuary, which is a saison with Pinot Blanc, previously with Gewürztraminer, and that also has Brett in it, Brettanomyces, the yeast. So Sauvage, meaning wild or savage, is a wild ale that's been fermented with a mixed culture of wild yeasts and domesticated wine strains. It was then aged for several months on summer berries. The resulting beer is effervescent, lusciously fruity, and sublimely refreshing. What caught my eye was the fact that it was aged on gooseberries, strawberries, and red currants. I thought that was pretty cool. We are kind of moving away from stout and porter season, so I'm featuring a little bit more lighter beers. Of course, there might be the odd stout or porter that I might feature. So we're not quite into spring and summer yet. So all right, so this is Sauvage Wild Ale from Steamworks Brewing, 8.1 ABV. Let's give it a go. Cheers. Immediately, I get the Brett on the nose, a little bit of a funk to it, but it's not too bad. It's still very light, it's very refreshing, it's very tart, very effervescent, it's very bubbly, fruity and tart. I'm getting the gooseberries and the strawberries and the red currant. That's pretty cool. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 from me. What would I pair this with? Fish, seafood, shellfish, chicken, tangy dishes, Asian dishes, cheeses or cheese dishes, curious, curious, curries, spicy dishes, not too hot, or salads. But don't take my word for it. Check it out for yourself. 4 out of 5 from me, and it's still available in the brewery. I think I saw this at the Canby Government Liquor Store as well as the Ironwood Richmond Government Liquor Store, Kingsgate Mall Government Liquor Store, and the brewery is pretty cool in Burnaby. I like it a lot. They have some great stuff on tap. They have a Scarlet um, uh, rye ale. They have their bourbon barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout. They have their Nitro Stout. They have a coffee porter. They have a chocolate porter as well. Now I could be mixing it up. It could be stout. Stouts and porters are pretty similar. They have a nitro stout with coffee and it's considered a cream ale. So there's lots to choose from there. And then of course they have their IPAs, their Kolsch's, their pale ales, and so they have their staple beers. So Steamworks is very consistent and they have just great products out there. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with them. They used to be very, very traditional, but now they're branching out, and I love what they're doing with their barrel programs, and yeah, they've come out with some pretty funky saisons, and I really like those. And yeah, so go check them out. If you see them in the liquor store, pick them up, try them out, and yeah, send me some of your feedback on it. So I always appreciate your guys' comments, and yeah, just spreading the brew pub, the beer love. So I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate your comments, and keep watching. All right, because well, you know, I'm here for you. You're here for me, for the beer, and I'm here for you to review it. So remember, keep calm and drink craft beer. Cheers. Have a good night.